Hello. Now, if you're like me, at some point in your life, you have suffered or are still suffering from low self-esteem or a belief that you are not good enough in some way. So let's do a little bit of tapping for that. As always, taking full responsibility for your own health and well-being. Even though I don't think I'm good enough, I choose to be open to loving and accepting myself. Even though I don't think I'm good enough, I choose to be open to loving and accepting myself just as I am. Even though I don't think I'm good enough. Maybe that's a decision I've made. Or maybe it's down to something someone's told me. I just know that I'm not good enough. I know that I have low self-esteem. And I choose to be open to loving and accepting myself anyway. I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. I don't have much self-esteem. I don't think I'm worthy or deserving. I'm making myself very small. Because I'm not good enough to be anything else. I'm not good enough. I have all this evidence in my past. That I'm not good enough. All those times where I learned I wasn't worthy or deserving. And whilst I tell myself I'm not good enough, one thing I'm really good at is believing that I'm not good enough. Maybe it doesn't feel safe to be good enough. If I'm good enough for whatever it is, what will I have to do? If I know that I am worthy and deserving, what will I have to stop tolerating? If I made the decision that actually I am good enough, what is the downside of that? I'd probably have to do something outside of my comfort zone. And that feels more uncomfortable than not feeling good enough. When did I decide that I wasn't good enough? And good enough at what specifically? Who told me I wasn't good enough? And how did they know? Where's my evidence for not being good enough? Maybe I have lots of it. But maybe I have lots of evidence. Because I will find things that support my belief. What if I changed my belief? What if I was open to the possibility that actually I'm plenty good enough? For instance, no one can be better than me. I am energy. I am part of this universe. That's evidence that I am good enough. If I truly wasn't good enough, would I even be here? I choose to be open to the possibility that I don't really believe I'm not good enough. More that I am afraid of how good I actually am. I am good enough. There may be stuff I can't do, that doesn't mean I'm not good enough. All skills are learnable. I'm open to the possibility I am good enough. I choose to turn up the volume on my self-esteem. And only I can do it. Only I have access to my self-esteem button. Up till now, I have chosen to set it low. For whatever reason. Perhaps to keep myself safe. That's no longer working for me. I don't want to keep this low self-esteem. Only I can choose to turn it up. I allow myself to focus on all the good bits of me. I allow myself to feel gratitude for everything I have. I choose to reach out and turn up my self-esteem. I give myself permission to do that. And I choose to feel really good about doing it. And take a breath. And let it go. You can even use your imagination here. Imagine yourself in your very own control room, somewhere in your body, finding your self-esteem button or knob, whatever it looks like. Imagine yourself turning it up and then locking it into place. No one else can give this to you. This is something you have to give yourself. You have to realize that you are worthy and deserving. And the voice in your head that is telling you otherwise is wrong. But it's telling you that not to be nasty or bad. There's something about it that it thinks is keeping you safe. So allow yourself to recognize that. Allow yourself to recognize the fact that everything you've done up till now has been with your best interests at heart. And that when it started, it was quite possibly the safest or only action you could take to keep yourself safe. But you're not the person now that you were then. And you are allowed to change the volume level on your self-esteem. I hope that helped. Do have a think about downsides to raising your self-esteem, because that's where procrastination sets in. If there is some form of downside or perceived downside to thinking more of yourself, what would that mean you have to do? And is that scary? And then you can start exploring doing some tapping on that to release the fear. So thank you for joining me. I hope that helped. Do leave me a comment, do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Toodles.